but in combination with the data that we have. The analysis that we've done shows that digital learning is designed and applied by different bodies in the context of policing. And one of them is the College of Policing that designs and offers digital learning packages through a managed learning environment, the MLE. It's what we hear as NCALT many times. And the MLE is available to all 43 forces. And that's what the participants talked about. I am aware that there are people from College of Policing, and they are now using the College Learn, which is a new platform, and it's in a beta version, if I'm not wrong. We can discuss later, yeah. Apart from the College of Policing, the police forces themselves, they offer digital learning packages, and they are focusing on their own local learning needs. And it happened that also police forces occasionally outsource the development of digital learning to external companies. We've heard that from Catherine from PSNI, I think. From the interviews of the participants, a number of enablers or advantages were raised in relation to digital learning. And this included that it reduces the cost in providing professional development. It is considered useful to some professionals within the police. It contributes to fewer abstractions of officers and offers flexibility that fits busy officers working on shifts. It has the potential to further enhance the delivery mechanism of learning, which was earlier traditionally in classroom settings, and it could offer easy access to courses sometimes, and they also said that it's good when it is short, relevant, engaging, flexible, and with interactive material. It can be used to capture participation of learners, and it can identify what elements are missing from the learning material and that are needed. And this can happen through learning analytics research that I will talk to you about in the end. And it is more effective when it is combined with classroom settings and when it is personalized and balanced, so no overload of lots of digital content. Apart from the enablers, there were some barriers or challenges that came up to the application of digital learning, and this related to the fact that it provides, the current learning packages currently provide a linear structure of material that hinders participation. It is used as a way of ticking boxes. This was very usual that I've heard this ticking boxes phrase from participants, and it doesn't check knowledge. It often includes little assessment and it doesn't check knowledge. And it is often not user-friendly and not interactive. And no dedicated time is given to officers, to learners to complete digital learning. And it can include material that is not fit for purpose and not engaging. It does not offer support and guidance by a teacher, which is very important, and it lacks pedagogy. So pedagogy involves how teaching and learning takes place. So what is it that learners need to learn, and how are we going to support them in order to achieve what they need to learn? What is the purpose of learning? So it happened that they said that it is not always accessible and from a variety of internet browsers and devices, and it happens often that it's not evaluated neither before or after a course runs. So some key learning from this research study relates to flexibility. So the concept of flexibility in digital learning can be challenging in the policing context. So how do we ensure flexibility in digital learning operations anytime and anywhere? The other thing is the cost of digital learning. So the experts that need to get involved in the development of a digital learning package have a cost that in the policing context it is not always considered, as well as the cost of the support from a teacher. So do we cost accurately? A third element of key learning is the resources. So participants mentioned that content might be generic or out of date, and police forces rarely involve experts in digital learning. So how are decisions being made on how the resources are developed as part of digital learning? Another element is the learner support and the knowledge sharing. So we've seen that participants reported that there is no interaction in the MLE platform, neither between among learners themselves or learners and a teacher. So how is the concept of support and guidance and facilitation is planned in the digital learning settings, and how is knowledge shared online digitally, in the digital space? And the last thing is the assessment and evaluation. So participants mentioned that the limited assessment of the digital learning packages. So how is it ensured that learners have the skills and the knowledge that is needed in order to do their jobs? How are the digital learning materials evaluated about their effectiveness? So what we came up with is a toolkit for digital learning, which can be used. So it can be used. What did I do? Sorry. Okay. Right. So. Great. Sorry about that. So Toolkit can be used as a practical guide for professionals of learning and development who wish to develop digital learning packages by linking theoretical underpinnings of digital learning and subject matter expertise. And it can also be used as a way to actually evaluate existing digital learning packages. So who will benefit from it? So professionals that are looking to learn on how to develop digital learning packages may benefit from this toolkit. And the objective of this toolkit is to develop learning material that are driving learning and not only completion, and to explore whether existing material do so and update them if not. And the main components of this toolkit are related to, are four. So it's the pre-design inventory, which has to do with who are the learners, what do they already know, if there is any existing material that police has and can be used or updated in the digital space. And the second is the design and the development of digital learning, that Patrick McAndrew actually emphasized this part. So this is the biggest and the most time-intensive phase and the most important component. And it relates to the learning strategies, to the learning content, to the media that needs to be developed and organized, and how this will be supported with technology. And here is where we have to actually describe the objectives and the outcomes. So what is it to be learned, and how are we going to support the learners? This is that part. Then the third component is the learner support, which which involves the teacher presence. So we need the human, as also Patrick said earlier in the morning, and we need learner feedback so that they go on their learning. And this currently doesn't exist in the learning packages that we looked at. Not in the learning packages themselves, but by what the participants said about the learning packages. And the last component is the evaluation of learning. So this relates to assessment. So how do we monitor whether the objectives and the outcomes are being fulfilled? And the last thing is learning analytics research that can be used. Data of learners can be used to build better pedagogies and target the at-risk learners. That's it from me.